Good morning, everybody. Today is Sunday, June 21st. It is the first day of summer, so I had to wear my fancy Robert Graham shirt. I think a few of you have noted when I have worn this before, and I was looking for something that would be striking and different. You know, it's funny, this shirt that I chose, I saw at, I think I saw this at Saks in Palm Desert in California a couple years ago, and it was up on a mannequin. And I looked at it and I thought, I don't know if I can pull that bold look off or not. And so I tried it on. And as soon as I tried it on, people were like, that's an amazing shirt. That's amazing. That's great. And I went over to the rack and it was on sale. And it made me laugh because they had a full amount of them. And yet nobody had obviously believed in the shirt enough to just get the damn thing on. And that always makes me so upset that people don't understand. If you're in apparel, the job is to get it on. If you're in footwear, the job is to get it on their foot. If you are selling bakery items, the goal is to get them to taste it. Whatever it is, you've got to have the goal in mind every time, because this shirt could not sell itself, obviously. And a lot of other people felt the same way. And that's the story of retail, that ultimately a professional salesperson can see the advantage in anything on the floor. It's like, great, that's the way I can make money. That's the way we make bonus. That's the way I pay my mortgage. I can do it. But too many people have fallen back into this complacency, like, oh, well, I'd never buy it. Oh, well, I sell what I like. That's where you're going to starve, because there's a lot of people that buy things that quite simply are only right for certain people. And if the more that you are ingrained in the idea of what sells and what doesn't, then a lot of times you're only selling 10% of your merchandise. So think about that. And that's part one. And I'll take part two as soon as I say hello to a few people. Travis, you were the first one in this morning from South Carolina. Thank you very much. Thanks for everything. Hey, Tristan, glad you're there. Amber from Ohio, the Buckeye State. Very good. Melissa from West Virginia. Hey, Lewis, glad you're here. Kathy, Jody. I was just enjoying my little fish are cautiously coming out. Jody is a fan, lives, she's about an hour north of where I live. And ultimately, from a Facebook Live video, she got an account where I've been with them for, I think, 2 years cleaning out a pond and providing a bunch of fish recently. So glad you're here today, Jody. And Kelly, Connie, Gary, good morning. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning. The goal is to get it on. You better believe it. Deidre, glad you're here. And Heather, there's an awful lot of people here today. So, and if please give me some thumbs up and some love, because otherwise Facebook doesn't show you anything. And I am questioning how much I should keep doing this. This is my third year. And while it's nice to be doing this, ultimately it's getting harder and harder to find questions that resonate with you. And some people say, I've already seen the fact somebody said, I'm not going to see you live because I've seen the answers to these questions before. So hopefully we have a few new things to share with you, but I'll ask you about that at the end. So part two of this is, I was talking to somebody just the other day, and they're telling me how they were so slammed with business. They have so little time that employees are working overtime, and they're working 7 days, 6 days a week, and they don't have time to train. They don't have time to do a lot of things. They're just trying to keep up. And wow, I thought about that. And then another one told me how, a lot of toy stores are still down 30 to 70% overall, and not all of them have opened. And I saw a recent report that consumers are expected to be more cautious about spending, and that they are typically, starting more online and before they ever go into stores. And ultimately, I just have to ask you, when does it hurt bad enough? When does it hurt bad enough? Because I have tens of thousands of people that watch my videos every time, and yet you have never bought my sales training, which is essentially me training you how to do it. And somehow, in a lot of questions over the years, we seem to get to the same place, which is there an easy answer for this? And so there's all these distractions that you might ask about, but it comes down to a focus of either you're a merchant, which I wrote about this last week, and the goal is to move the merchandise out and to get the highest margin you can at till your merchandise turns, or you're kind of a hobbyist, which is, you settle for what you get. And I'm telling you, the time now is to be like the early explorers. And you know what the early explorers did? That they, when they came on land, they burned the boats because it's like, we're not going backward. And unfortunately, there's a lot of retailers still in this loop of, trying to get back to January, or if trying to get back to, last year. It's from, again, I don't know if I've shared this story here. I've had so many interviews this last week. It's like Rocky Horror, if only we hadn't turned left, but you did. If only we hadn't gone out, but you did. Go looking backwards isn't going to make you money. And ultimately, when does it hurt bad enough? When does it hurt bad enough to change? That's my question for you today. Because quite simply, a lot of people put up with this all the time. It's like, finally you get a bruise, and at some point you're like, damn it, this hurts enough. I'm ready to change. But most of us aren't. Most of us want to just be happy and complain. And I'm just telling you that there's no fun in complaining, and there's no fun in looking backward, and there's no fun in telling us that it's all somebody else's fault, because all that matters is your four walls. All that matters is when you get up in the morning, are you doing everything to be focused on that business? How am I going to improve conversions? How am I going to train my employees to deliver an exceptional experience? How am I going to move more merch at a profit that I make more money to live the life that I deserve, not the one that I might be having right now? That's all that should consume you. I was reading an interesting article in the Washington Post this morning about a guy who does antique lighting, and I'm reading this encouraging story and how he's pivoted to digital to get people on, and does all these buying trips, and then he goes through and they did this whole phenomenal story, and then says he makes about 10% on his sales. And I'm like, and he's like, I'm happy not making money. I've got my retirement paid for. Really? I mean, at the end of the day, retail only exists if somebody exchanges enough products at enough margin for you to live the life you want. In his case, he's happy with that. He's 77 or something. Great. Most of you are in your 40s. So what's the attitude you've got? Are you happy complaining, or are you ready to make a change? And if you're ready to make a change, then let's get going and partner with me. But if not, I'm thinking that you're going to still be sharing stories of how somebody else is doing bad, or I'm going to read stories about how things have, not changed enough and retailers are worried. Of course we're worried, but get your butt in gear and change something. Make a difference. Do something other than hoping that somehow you're going to get back. Because I can tell you, the emails that we've been using aren't being opened as much. That's across the board. The promotions that used to work aren't working. We're still in this kind of a weird place. But let summer be the place that you say, this is my tent. This is my tent pole. I'm going to change from here on, and take some damn action to do it. And don't just be happy. I like this. I went and I shared this article about how awful it is to be a retailer. What's that helping you? It's not helping you at all. So hopefully you get a kick in the butt. And that's my question for you today is, when does it hurt bad enough? Does it hurt bad enough today? You're looking at a balance sheet. You're looking in the future and saying, wow, I don't want that. Only you can change that. I can't change that. It's like being able to say, oh, I bought the book. Did you read it? No, but I bought the book. Do I get points? No, you don't get points. I bought the book on how to learn how to play piano. Did you practice? No, it'll just come to me. That doesn't work. So there you go. You have a few questions, not a lot today, so let's get to them. Andre, what's your top 5 retail books you recommend? I think I've had this question before. I always start with The Magic of Thinking Big. It's the book that made the greatest impact on my life, which I actually heard from a buddy of mine who was in Chorus Line, and I went to see them when they were on tour, and I said, wow, that cast is amazing. What's different about this cast? Because I've seen him in other casts before. He goes, The Magic of Thinking Big. It's like, I have to read this book. And I did. It's still a bestseller for a number of reasons. Obviously, Retail Doc's Guide to Growing Your Business. I'm running out of physical copies, but you can get on iBooks and Kindle as well. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Always Dale Carnegie, that it's about somebody else, not about you. And by the way, when I say that, that's not the book. I sold you a sentence. That's not the book. It's like when I talk about The Strangest Secret, best motivational recording ever made in the 50s. I tell you, the nugget from it is not the recording. You actually have to listen to it. You don't just do the cliff notes. Randy Gage's Why You're Sick, Dumb, and Broke, always a game changer. And Don't Make Me Think, which is all about online and knowing how websites work and all those kind of things. Tammy, I'd love your thoughts on pricing strategy for a sale. Again, I've answered this a number of times, but Tammy, it's not your fault to ask it again. You might not have been here for the last 3 years. If items are marked too low or they're perceived as damaged or something wrong with them, Tammy, the problem is everyone is having sales now. Everyone's having clearance sales. And when Macy's has 70% off, you can't tell me that something is perceived as damaged. What it says is that there's really zero demand for this product. So you know your market. I just say always be aggressive. Start at these days. It's almost like start at 30% off for a week, go to 60% off, and then donate or get rid of it or put it online or do something like that. Again, it's your business. You should know these things. Actually, before I go, because there's not a lot of questions, I'm going to see if you guys have any questions in here for me. Now is the time to type it in, because this doesn't look like it's going to be. I did my rant at the beginning, so there you go. Good morning, Randy. Kim. Hey, Terry. Glad you're there. Rebecca. Glad you're there. Comments about the shirt. Appreciate that. Rose from Canada. Sweet. Awesome. Great rant. Thanks, Chris. All right. All right. So looks like we have a long one here from Amy. I'm an independent retailer that contracts with a brand to carry their line. I can't carry competing products. My biggest competitor is their website. My question is, how would you handle customers who want you to price match? I can't afford to match your sales, but I don't want to lose anything to e-com. I have some people who try things on. They'll purchase the regular prices from me and go online to purchase sale items. They put things on sale before we have the chance to sell them. Amy, that's what retailing is in 2020. And either you're up for it or you're not. But I can tell you, you're looking at the wrong things. That if there's got to be more value to you carrying that product than bad things of people trying to get you to match price. And it's your choice, Amy. Bundle it with something else or find a way to give them something else in retrospect. But there's no easy answer here. It is a black and white choice of yours. When someone comes in, they have enough interest. I think the days of expecting people aren't going to look at their phone are gone, if they ever were there. And I think what we have to figure out is you're going to have to play nice with it, which probably means you're going to have to look at your pricing structure and see if you can't get closer and make an attempt. But I would certainly not say, well, we can't do that. Of course you can do that. The question is, if they buy more, is there a way you could do that, right? If they bought 5 items, maybe you could do it, or something, or a mix or something like that. But Best Buy learned it the hard way as well, that they were going up against having different pricing for Amazon and online. And they finally just said, we've got to find a way to make peace with this. And I don't think anyone has the answer on any of this, because quite simply, it's your business. And I don't know what it is. But my guess, again, is this has happened a couple times, and now you've said all my customers. Look, if all your customers knew that, why the hell are they coming into your store to try it on? Again, they could try it on online and return it as well. So instead of focusing on that, I would focus on how to add to that sale with items that are not from that vendor. That would be I think I came to the right answer. It just took me a minute. Leslie, how do you feel about social media posts about products when there's so many important other urgent issues right now? I want to let my customers know we continue to be open and feature new items, but I don't want to be insensitive to what's happening in our country. Leslie, I think, again, a business exists primarily to sell product. So I think your number one thing isn't just showing products, because anyone can show products. I think you want to be able to tell a story about your product, to be a storyteller. That's what social media does best. That's what you should be doing. Find a story about a product and share that. As far as getting into, the problem is, I think there's a lot of, LGBT rights happened this last week, and it's great that suddenly you can't fire someone for that. I think that's awesome. Do I have to say that on my personal page or on my business page? I mean, I could, and I fully support it, but I chose not to. And there's a lot of things that I choose not to, because I think it becomes never ending. I have followed some people who they're doing all this good work, right? You're doing something in your community, you're doing this fundraiser, you're doing this and this and this. But at the end of the day, I don't remember your brand because I don't have a clear idea. So I think you have to get clear on who is your brand, why are you there? My brand on Facebook is designed to be here to be able to help small and medium-sized businesses, whereas obviously on LinkedIn and with my big accounts, I'm there helping publicly traded companies. I don't think it's I think it's just know your audience, know what you're trying to do, know who you are, and then celebrate that. Bryce says, it seems almost every item we post on social media. Well, here we're on social media again. And Bryce, it seems almost every item we post on social media, everyone asks the price. Do you recommend replying to price requests publicly or privately, especially when at time people will probably shop online if a cheaper price exists, or maybe research ahead and only post items that aren't lower? Bryce, again, I think you have to get behind this idea. Why would you hide the price? I have a friend of mine who has great products and never puts the price. And to me, that is a waste of time, because you got them right there. You got the interest. What the hell is it? Do not add another step for me to jump through. Tell me what it is, put a QR code, give me a link to it. So all I have to do is click and go get it. That's my suggestion. Okay, great. Robert, how to tell, excuse me, little mosquito there. How to tell a customer no when they want you to take something back that has obviously been used or simply violates policy and the customer acts up. So Robert, that is never easy. I think I told you a story last week about a Florsham. When I worked at Florsham, and a guy walked in, threw his shoes at me and said, these are crap. And I threw them right back at him. I said, get out of here until you can respect me. Just know what you can and can't take back. You know, I think a one-off, Robert, honestly, I don't know what it is. Is it worn? Is it ripped? It doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, you can go a lot further and just give them their damn money back. Because if I pay with a MasterCard or credit card, I'm going to get my money back anyway. So why ruin your day? And now you're going to tell all your buddies about it. And anyone who's in the store knows about it. You've had all these emotions around it. And now I'm right and they're wrong. And in the end of the day, in the great scheme of it, look at your total sales last year. Look at how much this thing cost you, not what you retail it, cost you. And just ask yourself, would an important person have any question about what to do with this? And then answer yourself. I hope that helps. Okay, Cheryl, when the manufacturer product you carry in store has it marked down their website, should we mark it down as well? Even if it's relatively new arrival, customer asked this week. If they ask, then give them the price. Again, I think the idea that there is a set price has disappeared in retail right now. Reality is there's too much merch chasing too few customers. Consumer demand is down. It will be down for the foreseeable future. That is, unless you're a garden center who they all seem to be running to. We all want to plant a garden and ride a bike right now and fix up the house. That seems to be it. But again, you have to look at your numbers and see, is this going to be a temporary thing, or is this something we're going to do in person? But why not, if it's a good customer, find a way to say yes. That's where I want you to all start from. Find a way to say yes to get the sale. That's the key. So in your case, now that I think about it, Robert, why not give them store credit? It's obviously been used, and say, you know what? I'll make an exception. I'll give you a credit to the store. Why not at least try that? And they're like angry and all that stuff. Give it back to them and save your sanity. And geez, man, there's got to be something better. I used to be that guy. I used to fight people for that. And I look back and I'm like, it ruined me for 6 hours afterwards. Why do I want to put that crap? It's like a lot of people sharing a lot of links that are just patently false. It's like, check your damn source and don't click or comment on it. Just say, this is wrong. All right, there you go. Monica, brainstorming ideas on how to connect products to guest post-COVID. How to connect products. Audience selling and demos are working, but not as well as we could sample food besides product knowledge. Monica, that's exactly right. And the whole idea is trying to find a way to have those pre-wrapped. That's going to be the key going forward. How do people know that it's pre-wrapped and not something everybody touched? That would be my suggestion for you. It's the same thing I'm doing in employee meetings. You know, used to people would just buy a dozen bagels or something. Bagels, I was trying to think in the UK, scones, I guess. I don't know. You know, you'd have coffee or something. And those days are gone. So they have to be pre-wrapped. So it's the same thing for sampling. You're going to have to find a way to get down to that. So I hope that helps. LaDonna, thanks for joining me from Port Leash. That's great. I knew you would like that shirt. All right, that's great. All right, let's get back to your last two questions here. John asks, what are your suggestions on trying to hire? I've tried many different platforms, but still don't get the right people for the job. You know, if it was, John, if this was 6 months ago, I would say, oh my gosh, it's really so terrible because unemployment was 3%. Unemployment is at 14% in the US. There is a huge pool out there, but maybe you're asking the wrong questions. Maybe you're making it too detailed. I know I have seen some retailers that actually have a little 3 questions, a little pad. If I thought about that, I could have shown you one. But it's like, want to work here? 3 great benefits of working for you. They get a discount on the products. You're going to start at a competitive minimum wage. Competitive wage, excuse me. You're going to do something else, have email you or something like that. Go on Facebook. You can certainly take out Facebook ads. Again, that's the smartest way, because you can take it out against your zip code and look for their specific interest. If I'm a bridal store, you're looking for people interested in fashion and follow bridal or those kind of things. You can notch that down in a lot of different ways. But the best thing most people forget is shoe leather. The best thing you can do is to go to other people, other independents, go to big boxes and be able to find someone who helps you and says, hey, anytime you'd like extra hours, come see me. Well, that's work, Bob. I know it's work. I get it. It's all work. No play. Burn the damn boats. All right, there you go. Carrie says, my store is in a small 9-store narrow mall at the end of a long hallway. Holy crap, Carrie, that's a terrible place to be. How can I draw attention to my store from the sidewalk? We're only allowed a small store directory sign on the door. Again, you're probably not gonna get traffic. I think what you're saying is you're in a branch off of the main mall, and a store sidewalk isn't there. You're gonna have to master social media. So master Instagram. I don't know what you're selling. Master is social media, social selling. Find ways to do live events. There's a million ways you could do it, but a sign, that's very 1990s. That's just not going to do it, especially when people aren't going to malls right now. So there you go. Happy Father's Day. Thanks, Karen. I appreciate that. Lynn, any thoughts on what third and fourth quarter might look like? I'm hesitant about booking my normal orders for Christmas sales. Of course you are. Let's make no mistake, there was a huge pent-up demand because I couldn't really spend money on restaurants and going out and going to theater and doing a lot of things. And certainly I think May and June we're going to see that. But realistically, as we get farther along, people are going to get back to their normal thing. And the question becomes, hardware stores, bike stores, garden centers, etc., have you stolen that demand from the back and brought it up to the front, where now you've fixed it, and now going forward you may not have? Or have you stolen, typically when we put things on sale, we're stealing the future to pay for today. Does that make sense? So somebody who normally might buy in September, because of the great deals you've got, they're going to buy now in June, but they would have been there in September. So you have to keep going. That's why promotions are so deadly. You're constantly stealing from the future. So I think the idea is that you want to be looking at, yes, has been pent-up demand, but I think everything comes down to being cautious. I think, again, going all the way back to the beginning, don't buy anything that you can't combine into a bigger sale all the way along. You want to have a green pen like this? Well, that's great, but you know what that pen shrieks is probably a spring promotion. So maybe you can bring it back at Christmas, but think about every item, how it's going to fit together for everything you've got. So take pictures of everything you've got, put it on a giant wall board as your top 20 categories, and then your top 10 products under that, and take pictures of all of them, and then start to look at it and say, what am I missing? What's the hole? I'm going to fill that. Or what vendor is sabotaging me online? Where do I need to fill that? And be strategic. Again, your job is to be a merchant, not to sell what you like, not to go to some trade show. Oh, we played this game and I really like that guy. Great. Have you figured out how to sell 25 of them? Well, no. Well, then you didn't do your homework. Do your damn job, and don't go and complain online. We're having a tough time. Amazon's coming back for the toy business again, in case you didn't get it. They're going to come back for so is Walmart, so is Target. All of them are coming after you. So what are you doing to prepare now for Christmas? So to your little mini rant there. So I would say, Lynn, I think you definitely should look at it, but it is going to be a wait and see. And I think you just have to tell your vendors it's going to be wait and see. And they're going to say, oh, we have great deals. I don't want great deals. What I want is strategically merchandise that fits into what's going to work in my store. So I hope that helps. Okay, so Pierre says, I am paid on a bonus for going over average ticket. How do I grow my sales? So Pierre, the key technique that I have used to, I bought my first house when I was 24 from working in retail. So those of you who say retail is dead end and there's no money in it, I can guarantee you there is. I know people make hundreds of thousands of dollars working retail because they understand that I've got to understand how to gauge interest. And that's a sixth sense that you develop, and to understand, like, so can I push this person to get a second pair? Can I kill this other product to bring this one up? How am I going to add on to this? With what they just said, what else is in the store from another department that I should bring forward? They're shopping together. How am I going to be able to have a fun conversation and say, now, what are you getting her? Or what are you getting him? How do I go through and develop this emotional intelligence to be able to build the basket? How do I become a merchant? That's the things that are going to make you the success, Pierre. And, you know, you can certainly sign up for Sales Rx, starts at $195 a month. Even if it's just for you, I guarantee you $195 a month will pay you back. But you get up to 5 users, so you get 5 of your buddies to join up as well. But at some point, you have to address that you have the will. And bravo to you, Pierre, because the will is what most people don't have. Most people don't have the will to change. They don't have the will to look at it. They don't have the will to say, well, if I sold X, I'd be able to do this. They don't have that will. So you do, but probably what you're missing is the skill issue. And the skill is understanding there's a process that a sale has to move through logically. And those of you who still think that, hi, can I help you find something? I'll be right over here, or shouting at people, good morning, and trying to get in people's face, or holding up merchandise. Did you see we got this in? Did you see we got this in? Oh, did you see we got this in? And that kind of a, oh my God, I've got dollar signs in my eyes. You need to buy something. Those days are going to just repel people, especially in smaller boutiques, because you look desperate. You're that guy at the bar trying to connect with any woman, or the woman at the bar, try to connect with every guy. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with gender or race or sexuality. It's that desperation, and you know what it looks like. It's that friend of yours who goes through and says, you know, can you sign this so that I can make... It's a scary place to be. You're going to have to pull back and realize, okay, so I have the enthusiasm. I want to do this. Great. I need call confidence. I need emotional intelligence. I need to fix the skill that I don't have because I already have the will. I can trust you, Pierre. You can build a business on guys like you and women like you who know what they want and just say, I don't know how to quite do this yet. And so I would say also look at your other opportunities out there as well, Pierre, because quite simply, having that will is going to get you much farther than anybody else. You know, most of you have people that could be nice to people. I don't give a damn people who could be nice to you. Let me give you a caveat. Unless they can sell. Anybody can be nice. Anybody can say, oh, feel free to look around. Let me know if you need anything. That I could have a robot do that. I could have a monkey do that. I could just have a voice say that over the loudspeaker. Welcome. Feel free to look around. Let me know if you need anything. I'll be over here with my mask, being bitter that no one's coming in today, and asking my friends, how's it for you? Oh, it's really dead. You know, a lot of people are doing virtual conferences right now. And the one thing that they aren't able to do is you can't go there and bitch about things like you could if you went in person. Why not just stop all that? Why don't we just burn the boats, say whatever was, whatever I did before, I'm done with, and I'm going to try something new, and I'm going to fix the skill that I know I need to fix. Because otherwise you are like Dusty Springfield, wishing and hoping. That probably gives me a good place to end, I think. I think that's probably a good place for me to end. So with that in mind, maybe this is time for run its course, because I get so frustrated being on these calls with most of you who do not purchase, do not get Sales Rx. You don't fix the skill issue, and the will issue is kind of, I'm here on the call. Doesn't that count? It's like, no, it doesn't count. What counts is you taking action. What counts is you saying, how high is up? What's the future have in store for me? How do I get there? And be like Pierre and start thinking about, wow, how do I end up doing more, instead of, wow, I wish it was easier. Easier isn't going to make you money. We're all learning. We're all trying to figure it out. And if you get anything out of this, put it in the email, put it in the comments. Let me know what you think. But quite simply, I'm not here to be your best friend. I'm here to tell you what nobody else will, which is it's about you being a merchant and raising your own sales. Have enough self-respect to say, I deserve to get this, and then show a customer a branded experience that helps you do it, and I could be your partner in that. With that in mind, I'm Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc. I'll join you next Sunday if I get any 5 questions, but I really am questioning the value of this for you. So if it's got value, let me know, share it, because something's got to happen here. I am tired of treading water. Burn the damn boats, full steam ahead.